and then this is basically what Claude started doing. It just started spewing out code. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Civic Toolbox. And I'm very excited for this episode because we are going to be continuing our series on how to divest from Amazon. And this is a very special episode entitled Exposing Amazon's Hidden Tariffs, How to Reveal the True Cost of Your Purchases. So I had a lot of fun with this one. Honestly, I'm going to be riffing a lot in this episode, walking you through some demos, and so not very scripted at all, but it should be a lot of fun. I created a thing that I hope that you'll get a lot of, that you'll get a kick out of, and that you can try on your own. And so let's get right to the demo. Okay, so I'm really excited to show you this little project that I created, but and I'll give you an idea of where this came from. So you may remember a few days ago there was some talk about Amazon showing its pricing, its tariff price in the product pages that you look at. And I thought this was such a really great idea. I thought this was a great opportunity for Amazon to be really transparent and to show leadership for other companies. Hey, that this is some of, this is basically what you're paying for these products to leave China mostly, and some of these other countries. And this is going to be great. As you checked out, you could see the tariff price, and I could visualize how this implementation was going to go. And I was really excited about that. And then after a day or two, basically, it didn't take very long, but then Bezos talks to Trump, and basically, a couple hours go by, and everything is rolled back. It was just an idea. We're not going to do anything like that. So, what a missed opportunity as well. And I just think, this is kind of a shame. Just too bad. And this would be a great for consumers, for us to be able to understand the prices, the transparency behind our pricing and things like that. So there was that. But as this was all going on, I was thinking, couldn't anybody just, couldn't we just create a Chrome extension to basically do the same thing? And I don't know about you, but I use Claude, and Claude is one of my favorite little helpers. Claude.ai, and I have a bunch of different projects on Claude that you can actually create. I use the paid model, but I create different projects so that Claude will remember the context of my projects. And if I'm creating, doing research on something, I go back and I want to do more research. So I have projects here for my YouTube channels and my Substack. Sometimes if I'm trying to figure out a new tool, I might use these threads to go back to. And so I created one for, I was thinking, what would we do if we wanted to create this Chrome extension? So I just asked Claude simply, if we could do this. And then this is basically what Claude started doing. It just started spewing out code. And I just was like, this is amazing, because I've seen this in some instances before, but now Claude can check the internet and it can check links and things that you give it. And this is just crazy. Look, it's creating this thing on the fly so fast and basically building this, live. So I was like, no, wait, let's pause, because I want to be very prescriptive about this. I work for a company that is, that makes, internet products. I've been in meetings with product meetings. And so you want to be very prescriptive with your coders and your team about exactly what you want to see. So that's why I went back and I was like, if I'm really going to do this, then let's do this the right way. And let's be very prescriptive with my prompt about what I want to see from my Chrome extension. And I want to basically be able to go to any Amazon checkout page and see what the estimated tariff will be for a product. And then like I give an example, I put a link here for a product that is right here. I'll show you that product. I come back to this a little bit later. But on any Amazon product page, you can see the country of origin. So we should be able to understand what the tariff price is based on the country of origin. And there might be some other things that come up because of that. So we've got that, and we should be able to see that and use publicly available tariff data to give a transparent price. So if it's subject to tariff, a dropdown is going to say estimated tariff tax, and then give us that dollar amount. If it's not subject to a tariff tax, the dropdown mode is going to say not subject to tariff. If it's an American-made product, or from some other country that is not subject to tariff. And then we're going to call it the Amazon Tariff Tax Checker. I since then changed the title, but I do like this title just because I'm being nice, I guess, and called it the Tariff Fee Checker. But give me explicit instructions on how to implement this. So do your work, Claude, and then like Claude started at the very beginning, literally giving us like a project structure for how our file structure is going to be, and then creating the JSON file here which is the core Chrome extension, and just all these, the pop-up modal that's going to be here. So would you like to see if this project actually worked? Let's demo the product. How did Claude do? So I'm going to go back to this page here. I'm going to do a little refresh, and all right. So when I click on this, basically, you can see it'll tell you where the tariff data is sourced from. There's a little important update because yesterday there was a big issue with the de minimis exemption. It's been eliminated, and now there's this huge spike in tariffs. So what's interesting is it's not just telling you a price, okay? So it's actually like educating the user and saying, normally this product would be subject to a $100 flat fee for direct imports, but this extension shows an approximation. So this is an approximation, and that's totally okay. Basically, you're seeing what the estimated price is, but then you're, before the tariff, and then the tariff amount, and then the final price, and subject to tariff. So there is this thing I learned, I guess, that there's a $100 flat fee for small items or something, but since the product is only $21.99, the tariff is shown in approximation, and so some fees would be applied at customs, I guess, for direct imports. So again, this is informative. So let's go to the next page and see what we have here. This is another product. I believe this is a Chinese product as well. And then this is telling you your estimated price before tariff, and then your estimated tariff amount and what you see. And then again, some disclaimers here about where this data is coming from. But I think this is really kind of kick-ass. I'm really excited that this is working. Now, let's try this product, and this is a product, I believe, from Japan. And let me see if that is true or not. Maybe this is or not. No, wait. This is my Japanese product. Here we go. All right. And so this says, here's my estimated price before tariff, my tariff amount, and then there's a 10% tariff rate. And then it tells you a little bit about Japan, subject to a 10% rate. And just to double check, you can go to, I went to Claude and I asked, In fact, we can ask Claude here. Okay. All right. I'm typing fast, so let's see if, yes, the calculation for the Japanese product is correct, and then it explains the list price, the tariff rate, the pre-tariff price, and then the estimated tariff amount. That looks good. All right. So great, the extension is working as expected for the Japanese product. We tested the product, and so far everything seems to be working pretty well. It's being informative, and let me just kind of go back a little bit and show you how I made this with Claude. Now, it didn't exactly basically, this wasn't just like a one button click and suddenly Claude made this and it was done. This actually did take a few days. I think this is my third day, and I've been making updates basically every time. And so I guess I should show you exactly what happened when I had my initial files, like where did those go? And I'm going to show you in Chrome. You basically have to just go to Chrome extensions and turn on developer mode. Like, it's that simple. I didn't realize, I thought might have to use like Chrome Canary or one of these developer versions of Chrome, but no, not at all. Anybody can just go to your extensions folder, basically, turn on developer mode, and then load your unpacked files. And that's basically what Claude gave me to start. And so I did that, and there's an error. So it's okay, but it's just a timeout error, and we can clear that. And then you basically go here and you load them, and then you reload them. And they're connected to my desktop. They're actually just sitting on my desktop right now, these files. So anytime I make an update to the files, I just do a reload and then go back and refresh my page and see what updates there are to the Tariff product. And so what's nice, I think is really nice here is that it just hovers, and it shows you everything there while you're on that page. So that is really cool. I mean, I'm just kind of blown away with the fact that I'm able to do this. One of the first things it asked me to do is create icons. And so I actually went to Canvas and I created some icons, and I basically used some free checkmark icons. I just wanted this green checkmark. Some of the problems that I had over the last couple days was getting the tariff data correct, because it kept updating, like something would happen and we'd have to update the tariff data. But one of the things I noticed is, even though I have the paid version of Claude, is that this would happen. Let me see if I can find it. And this is the part where it started to get a little frustrating with Claude. So I would go to create this file, and then it would create this file, and then it would pause, and it would say it hit the max length for messages. And yes, I would like you to continue. And so then it would continue, and then it would provide a completed version that I could use or something like that. And then it would hit the max again, and then it would ask me to continue. And so this happened a few times, but what I had learned after a while was it's not splitting up these files, it's that the completed version, like you can see it did it a few times. That was the final version, right? So it just kept adding to the previous file, and then finally you had this file. So I thought that was just interesting. What also I learned is that eventually I reached a limit where the entire chat said it was full, and that I would have to go back. Basically, I'd have to start a new chat. And this is why I ended up creating a project within Claude, because I would have to create a new chat and then try to give Claude context over what my previous chat was about. And that was a real pain. so I had to download all my files, start a new chat, upload those files, retell, and I put a link to this previous chat so Claude would have an idea of what the previous chat was like. It's a big pain in the ass. That part was annoying. So that's why I ended up going and creating this project. So if I did have to create a new chat, that I could just go into and start adding, and it would remember all the context. So this was key to understanding what happened here. So I thought that was interesting and helpful, but that part was a little pain, a bit of a pain. There was one time where it told me to come back at 3 p.m. Central because I had used up apparently as much chat room as I could use, and that it would need to be reset at 3 p.m. Central. And even though I have a paid version of this, it said, if you want to pay for the next version of this, click here. So I didn't know that, but that was interesting. But basically, those were some of the issues I had. But generally, everything is working properly for the most part. And I want to make this available to everybody who wants it. Where can you get this, right? Where is it hosted? Well, I asked Claude to help me host this in a publicly available place. And so I went to where normal, like I said, I want this to be open source. I want anybody to be able to go here. And I made a link, and the link is a bit.ly link, but it's basically a GitHub. So here's the GitHub, and it's a useful Chrome extension, allows people to up-to-date tariff information, all the files. There's some, what's actually interesting is that I've never hosted anything on GitHub before, and if you're like me, you've never done this, it tells you all the files that you'll need, any licenses that you may want to use, and it kind of helps you out throughout that process. So I wanted to create an open source license, basically, where anybody who wanted to use it could use it, and it's basically an as-is license, and there's a README and an installation guide for how to install this. If you want to make your own fork of this, basically, go to the GitHub repository, download, and then it gives you instructions on how to do that, which is totally cool and fun. And then, how to use the extension, go to a product page. And so it did all this for me. Thank you. And so there's a disclaimer as well, which I think is important. There's a legal disclaimer. This is, everyone who tries this, basically you're on your own, and it's not going to collect any of your data. It's important that everybody knows that it doesn't collect or store, it doesn't transmit, it doesn't do any of that. It kind of just works off of your own desktop. I didn't publish this to the Google Play Store or the Google Chrome Web Store. It doesn't create profiles, anything like that. And it basically, users are responsible for ensuring their use of the extension complies with the terms of service as well. And so it does actually check against Amazon's terms of service, which is great. There's a legal file here, just so we went through the terms of service. There's no scraping, no data collection, requests, bypassing, any of that stuff. It's basically just viewing the page and telling you some important information based on, the important tariff data of the time. So definitely go to that link if you want to give it a try. I would love for you to try it. And build on it. If you're a coder, there's another piece too that I think would be really fun. And I created another link for that. And that's the API stuff. And I created a special page, here, basically just saying for future implementation, is there a method for API use, and how would one, use that? So there are some instructions basically on if you wanted to fork this project, implement the API, and it would update automatically. It'd be great, and that would be wonderful. So So that's that, and that link is here. It's the bit.ly API tariff tracker. So what next? Use this tracker for your own purposes, have fun with it, let it inform you, let it do what others couldn't have done in the past, and or what others didn't have the strength or the courage to do, perhaps. And give it a shot, and let me know in the comments, and let us know if you give it a try and what you think of it. And if you want to make any updates, you're on your own. But hey, use Claude and ask questions and tell them, tell Claude to help you make those improvements. I think you're going to have fun, and it's just going to be this is kind of a blast, and it's kind of a blast just to see what we can create when you have an idea and moving to move forward like this. So that's going to do it for today on today's Civic Toolbox. I can't express how simple the process is. I empower you to make your own version of this and improve on it, add the API, do some, something. Are there any other, retailers out there that we should be adding to this? And if so, which ones? Let us know in the comments. And thanks again for watching. We will see you next time on the Civic Toolbox. Thank you.